A fundamental property in the properties of Fourier transform is the duality property. Here in this video, we would build an intuition what is the duality property. We would also touch upon the proof of this property and some examples. So let us start with x of t. See, x of t is this signal. This is our x of t. And we know that its Fourier transform, if this is a square function or a rectangular function, so over here we have a sinc function, that is this function. So square and sinc. Now say we change the variable of this one from omega to t. So we have x of t. Note that this is capital X and over here we again have a capital X. So, but we have changed the variable from omega to t. So this means that this variable omega is changed to t, this is changed to t, and this is done over here. Exactly same shape, but rather than in frequency radians per second, now we have a sinc function in time. So the Fourier transform of this new function which is in time, that is x of t, this is represented over here, which would be a square function. So hence we have a relationship between these two and these two. So if someone asks you what would be the Fourier transform of a sinc function, so from duality property, you can directly answer him that it would simply be a square function. But do note that we also have normalization and a negative sign here. So say you are given with a table of Fourier transforms, you are given with this table. So by this table, you can also find the Fourier transform of this row and vice versa. Now again, the definition of duality property of the Fourier transform. So let us move towards the proof of this. So we're going to start with the inverse Fourier transform, that is x of t. This is simply equivalent to 1 over 2 pi minus infinity to infinity x of omega or j omega e to the power plus j omega t, and this is with respect to d omega. So in the second equality, let us bring this 2 pi to the right side. So we have 2 pi x of t, and on the right side we have the same function. Next, let us change this t to minus t. So on the left side we have 2 pi x of minus t, and similarly on the right side we have x of omega e to the power minus j omega t d omega. So next, let us say t is equal to lambda 1 and omega is equal to lambda 2. So by this transformation, so wherever we have a t, that would change to lambda 1, and wherever we have omega, that would change to lambda 2. So next, again we will say lambda 1 is now equal to omega and lambda 2 is now equal to t. So wherever we have lambda 1, that would change to omega. So we have 2 pi x of minus omega, and this is equivalent to minus infinity to infinity x of t e to the power minus j. Lambda 2 is t and lambda 1 is omega, and d lambda 2 is again dt, and this is nothing but a Fourier transform of x of t, that is 2 pi x of minus omega, which is mentioned over here. Note that these two can be simplified. You can just directly change t and omega. in this expression, which would eventually lead to the last expression. But anyways, sometimes this is more simpler, that you break it down to new variables lambda 1 and lambda 2 and then revert back to omega and t. So after the proof, let us now look into some of the examples of duality property. So let us say in the first example, we are given with the function which is a rectangular function. It starts from minus a and terminates at a, and it has an amplitude of 1. So this is our x of t. So as a first step, let us formally find the Fourier transform, that is x of omega. And we know that x of omega is an integration from minus infinity to infinity x of t e to the power minus j omega t dt. Now this is equivalent to minus a to a. The amplitude is simply 1. So we have e to the power minus j omega t dt, and the solution for that is minus 1 over j omega e to the power minus j omega a minus e to the power plus j omega a. And from the Euler's identity we can multiply and divide by 2, so we would have 2 by omega and j with this and divided by 2, so this would simply be sine of omega a. Now again we can multiply and divide by a, so we would have 2a sine omega a over omega a. So sine of an argument divided by the same argument is simply a sinc function, so this would lead to 2a sinc of omega a. So that is when we are having a signal which is a rect function in time, starting from minus a to a, having an amplitude of 1. So the Fourier transform is simply a sinc function which is 2a sinc of omega a. But we can make a diagonal transformation and we can convert this omega to t over here. So we have 2a sinc function of ta, and this has a transform as per the duality property which would be linked with this one. That is, we would have a 2 pi times x of minus j omega. So this signal would be flipped from minus, but since it is from minus a to a even, so unchanged, the minus and plus would not affect this signal. So we have the net function in the frequency now, and from this 2 pi, this is now having an amplitude of 2 pi. So more often you would be given this information, or you can extract the Fourier transform of this signal which is over here, as we have done. After that, this translation is quite easy to make. So if we symbolize, say this is 1, 2, 3 and 4, so most probably you would be given with the information which is 1 and 2. So you can extract out 3, and from 3 you can go to 4. For example, you are asked to find a Fourier transform of a very similar function to this symbol which is 3. Say we are given with a value which is x of t, and this signal has a form that is sine at over pi t, and we are asked to find the Fourier transform of this signal. But note that this is not in a sinc function, so we can transform it into a sinc form by means of multiplication and division by a. So multiplying and dividing by a, we have a by pi sine of at over at, and this is simply a by pi sinc function of at. Now we are asked to find the Fourier transform of this function. So from the duality property, from all these plots, so we know that this function, that is 2a sinc function of at, is having the Fourier transform which is in terms of minus a to a, amplitude of 2 pi, and this is with respect to omega. So in order to resemble this, we can multiply by 1 over 2 pi both sides. So doing that, we have 1 over 2 pi times 2a sinc function of at, and from linearity we have the same function, but now this 2 pi would be multiplied by 1 over 2 pi. Start from minus a to a, and this is omega. So hence we have a by pi sinc function of at, and this has a Fourier transform which is simply minus a to a, and the amplitude is simply 1. Note that this mathematically can be written as a 1 when the absolute value of omega is less than a, and it is 0 otherwise. Now let us move to the second example, and over here x of t is given as e to the power minus a absolute value of t with a greater than 0. So since a is greater than 0, so this function is basically converging in time as time tends to infinity or minus infinity. And since it follows the Dirichlet conditions, setting sigma equal to 0 in the Laplace transform converts the Laplace transform to a Fourier transform, and the Laplace transform of this is given in my earlier video. So conversion by applying just sigma equal to 0, we have the Fourier transform which is x of omega, that is 2a over a square plus omega square. So from the duality property, we have e to the power minus a absolute value of t, and this is paired with 2a over a square plus omega square. Now the transformation of this with respect to variable omega, we have in time domain we have 2a over a square plus t square. So that would be having a Fourier transform that is 2 pi times from here e to the power minus a and absolute value of omega. So this information we can find out on our own or from a table, and this is a simple intuition from the duality property. Now if we are asked to find the Fourier transform of a signal which is x of t, and this is simply 1 over a square plus t square. So from this duality property it is very easy to find. So we know that this 2a over a square plus t square, this has a transform which is 2 pi e to the power minus a omega. Now multiplying both sides by 1 over 2a, so this would result in 1 over a square plus t square, and hence its Fourier transform would be pi by a e raised to power minus a absolute value of omega. So the trick in this question is simply you can write all the four equations of a standard pair. So this is our standard pair, and this is from the duality property. And once we are here, similar signals are easy to find. That is, the transform of similar signals are easy to find. So lastly, a very brief example. So say we are given with a direct delta function, delta of t in time. So the Fourier transform of this signal is simply having an amplitude of 1 across all angular frequencies. So the transformation in terms of change of variable, so we have a 1 across all time, and hence its pair would be from here, and that would be delta of omega multiplied by 2 pi, and this is with respect to omega. Note that delta of minus omega is equal to delta of omega. Now things get really interesting. That is the properties that we have earlier done in another video, that is the differentiation integration property, kind of a modulation property. So these properties have their own dual properties, and it is easy to prove all of these properties.